Time to reach for mobile water. Mobile water, unique in every way.
Hashtag stop galamsey now.
Let the water flow. I will speak to him directly. President John Dramani Mahama. Yellow blood do.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. It's live on Joy 99.7 and hits 103.9 FM in Accra. We're also live on Love 99.5 in Kumasi, myjoyonline.com, and affiliates in all 16 regions of Ghana, including Kekeli FM Ho, Bishara Radio Tamale, KTU Radio Koforidua, Oil City Radio Takrady, and Castle FM Cape Coast. Also live on X Spaces, Facebook, and YouTube. The Midday News is supported by Petrosol Platinum Energy. This afternoon, commuters in Accra continue to spend long hours in queues for transport despite government's ongoing efforts to tackle the transport crisis.
I'm going to work.
You are going to work?
Yes, I'm an engineer.
Right. What time do you have to get to work?
Normally, I'm supposed to be there around 7:30 to 8. I must be there.
And it's past 9, you're still in the queue?
Yeah, because of transportation issues.
We're live at the Transport Ministry, where the Minister is currently engaging transport operators to try and find a solution to the crisis. Also this afternoon, Bui Power Authority warns that illegal mining around the dam could disrupt electricity supply as Ghana's third largest hydroelectric facility faces mounting threats from galamsey activities.
It's important to note that hydropower generation depend largely on the reservoir. So the activities of illegal miners upstream the dam causes sedimentation one way or the other, which will have adverse effects on our plants.
Also in the lineup this afternoon, Gold Board data shows nearly all of Ghana's small-scale gold exports in 2025 were sent to just 2 countries. We examine how this heavy reliance exposes Ghana to potential external shocks originating from these markets. Details shortly in sports.
Former Sports Minister Neelante van der Poel endorses match official Daniel Lai for the FIFA World Cup after AFCON performance.
And the new Patriotic Party flag bearer race gets heated with 12 days to elections as Dr. Brian Champong questions opinion polls projecting Dr. Bawumia as favourite, insisting that 75% of MPs polling more votes than him and the 2024 general election is a vote of no confidence in the former vice president.
Over 75% of constituencies in Ghana, yet parliamentary candidates the presidential candidate.
We're on the campaign trail where Kwabre East MP heaps praises on Dr. Bawumia for his leadership, predicting a landslide victory for him on January 31.
If you have observed, he is always focused on what he wants to do.
We have details of these and more coming up with me, Mami Nyamiche Thompson. This is Joy News, independent, fearless, credible. Let's dig in now. Despite government ongoing efforts to tackle the transportation crisis, commuters in Accra are still finding it difficult to get home after work. While plans are underway to procure high occupancy buses to support the private sector, many commuters continue to spend long and productive hours in winding queues. Gemma Appiah visited some bus terminals and reports.
It's past 9 a.m. On a Monday morning, and commuters are still in long winding queues hoping to get a vehicle to get to work. Let me get closer to some of the commuters who have been in the queue for a very long time and speak to them about this transport challenges. Thank you so much for joining us on the Joy News channel. How long have you been in this queue? How many minutes?
Oh, about 30 minutes. About 30 minutes.
I drink no.
Yeah.
Na situation say de bia na say ne nkwa na etisa.
Oh, every Monday there say not. Every Monday there everyone na line no they no yeshe pa. So times we don't want 40 minutes plan on rule so.
Na situation how saying.
Oh, how me pa because I just by 7:38 essentially me go do adwuma. But by this time regional lie. I check by this time go adwuma check me adwuma. By this thing no line na me gina no.
Oyejuma wa dringano.
But
Say why you late?
I'm late I'm late. Because at 30 minutes I'm doing no. Me I can't just go jumbo.
Time na also udu ejume.
Oh, I just about 18 minutes I'm go jumbo. But it's na abono still juna live.
What time do you have to get to work?
Normally, I'm supposed to be there around 7:30 to 8. I must be there.
And it's past 9. You're still in the queue.
Yeah, because of transportation issues. So we don't know. We can also fly, but obviously we have to wait for the transport.
The situation is no different at the Ayalolo bus terminal in Amasaman. I will be speaking to some of the commuters to find out how long they have been in the queues and where they are even headed to. Medawasisewa only make kasa na queue no it means a long queue wa hanom no. We jina queue ni mo for how long?
Oh, me buy there be 1 hour ni. Me jina mo. Ba bus na kwa e chance na aba me say trafficking. Na me wo problem kakra. Problem I want to say bus ni lodu wi a. Omo jina mu no. Eye too much sin yen ya yete ho no. E bus a e ma ohome ete. E na obi aso ne spray a we use a wo denam. Obi wo ho wa asma obo na obi nso akolapse e wo car no.
So she's complaining about the number of people that the Ayalolo buses take when they are loading. She says the people or the commuters, the number of commuters who stand in the buses are more than those who are seated.
And that was Gemma Appiah at some bus terminals earlier on. Let's take you live now to the Transport Ministry, where the minister spent the day engaging transport operators to try and find a solution to the crisis. Fatal Bayaga is there for us. Fatal, bring us to speed about this meeting.
So this afternoon, the Transport Minister, Joseph Boating, is meeting the various transport operators here at the Transport Ministry. We understand that the GPRTU is here. The Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council, Pro-Tour concerned drivers, among a host of others. All of them are part of this very crucial meeting. And the reason is simple. On Friday, they met, but they could not reach a conclusion in terms of addressing this particular situation. What we understand is that all the unions were pregnant with so many concerns, but because of the limited time, they were not able to digest all of that or, reach all of that. So today, the minister rescheduled the meeting. And at the moment, they are currently in that closed-door meeting. Some of the concerns that some of these transport operators raise have to do with the fact that many of their vehicles are currently in, repairing shops or fixing shops, and that is one of the reasons causing this particular challenge at the moment. In fact, last week when the Vice President met with them, they spoke about the fact that there's a need for budgetary allocation to the private transport operators, so that they can make sure that their vehicles are on the road. So this is, I'm told, basically that the transport minister is working tirelessly in collaboration with this private transport operators so that they can get to the bottom of this matter and ensure that the challenges that these commuters are faced with every day is curtailed.
Right, Bayaga, thank you so much. Fatal Bayaga is our correspondent at the Transport Ministry. Well, we'll keep an eye on that one. CATS International is calling on government to develop a clear framework for setting commercial transport fares amid concerns that operators are not lowering their fares despite falling fuel prices. Director of the West Africa Regional Center of CATS International, Kofi Adwako-Appiah, said fuel has long guided fare levels, but transport unions now argue that fares are also influenced by spare parts and other operational costs.
Heard that most of the union are saying that prices of transport fares are not determined by fuel price alone, but the spare part prices, and that spare parts are going up. But when you look at even the rate of the cedi to the dollar, it's also trends that spare parts should be coming down. So in this country, we always do firefighting. I think one way around this thing is that we need to be able to design a model for running of commercial cars and say that, look, fuel prices account for, let's say, 60% of the running of the car. Then that of spare parts is, let's say, 20% and maybe other overheads. So that we know that anytime the fuel prices goes down, we know that there is a way that the prices should also have to go down. until we do this, car owners, unions, and drivers will always find way around it and always abuse the consumer.
Away from transport issues, the Bui Power Authority has warned that illegal mining around the Bui hydroelectric dam could disrupt electricity supply in parts of Ghana. Speaking on the Super Morning Show, PR manager Fui Kojo said siltation from galamsey operations along the Black Volta River is affecting the dam's reservoir, which is critical to power generation. He added that continued illegal mining could undermine the dam's operations, potentially affecting regions dependent on Bui, including the Ashanti region. We'll hear from him shortly. First, though, excerpts of a Joy News Hotline documentary by Nana Yaljima, which exposes how the sustainability of the nation's energy security is being choked by environmental destruction.
The team made a 30-minute journey on a boat to one of the communities notorious for illegal mining. This new settlement for illegal miners is named Akufuado. Here, the mining operations mainly involve the digging of small pits about 4 to 5 feet deep and the same size wide. From the soil dug, they wash for the precious metal. With some fan machines, they pump water from the dam to wash the sand for the gold deposit. This wastewater is diverted back into the dam, leading to the siltation and pollution of the dam. Acting Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the Bui Power Authority, Samuel Boateng, says the menace is causing siltation of the dam's reservoirs.
It causes siltation of the river, decreases the effective volume of the reservoir.
But the miners insist their activities in the river and its banks cannot harm the dam. One of their leaders, Etu, claims they mine sustainably.
The waste we have here can't get to the dam. We have no machine to dig the dam directly. We won't even accept people who attempt to mine in the dam. What we have here can't get to the dam. We dig 3 pits, and the water used in washing the gold is recycled.
Executive Director of the Africa Center for Energy Policy, ASEP, Benjamin Boache, envisages half of the Ashanti region may be cut off the national grid if the situation persists.
So if it is given as a minimum of 200 megawatts, without that, almost half of Kumasi will not have electricity. So that is how significant.
Nana Yaljima's report read to you. We can now hear from PR manager Fui Kojo.
The activities of illegal mining around the Bui area is having adverse effects one way or the other on our plant. You'd notice that those involved in illegal mining are doing that upstream of the Bui reservoir. Now, it's important to note that hydropower generation depend largely on the reservoir. So the activities of illegal miners upstream the dam causes sedimentation one way or the other, which will have adverse effects on our plants in terms of the cavitation, erosion of the turbine blades and all that. So this is one critical issue that we are challenging as an authority, and we are looking to continue all efforts that we already garnered in terms of fighting the menace within the enclave. Right from the documentary, it was stated that we have a security task force based at the Bui generating station, and that task force is made up of the Ghana Army, the Navy, the Ghana Police, and then the Bui security itself. And this task force are well resourced by us at the Bui Power Authority to fight galamsey, and beyond that, we've extended help to our the 2 coordinating councils, i.e. the Savannah and then the Bono coordinating councils as well, in terms of supporting them with vehicles and fueling, resourcing those vehicles in terms of to increase the patrol and to strengthen their activities of illegal mining.
Still on this, Deputy Ranking Member on Parliament's Energy Committee, Collins Adumaku-Mensah, says politicians have performed poorly in the fight against illegal mining. He admits that galamsey has often been used as a political tool during elections, a practice he says has weakened efforts to tackle the menace.
I've made this point quite clearly, and I can say shamefully that we as politicians have not done well when it comes to the fight against galamsey. And I'm a politician, and I'm saying it. I mean, election time, you hear all the rhetoric. And I tell you, some members of even political parties pressure on the authorities to slow down on their activities in bringing down galamsey, getting close to elections. Because you can go to a particular constituency where 60 to 70% of all the indigents, the youth, are involved in some form of illegal mining. And they tell you frontally that if you do this, we are going to vote you out. And indeed, the records are there to prove that some people have suffered political defeat or humiliation on the basis of their penchants to clamp down on illegal mining. So yes, as I said, shamefully, I have to admit that we politicians have not been very, for want of a better word, not been very forceful.
Well, in a related development, the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat says it is deploying field operatives permanently in identified galamsey hotspots along critical rivers and high-risk communities. The decision comes in the wake of series of raids at the weekend along the Ankobra and Brim and major hotspots in the Western, Eastern and Ashanti regions, arresting 4 Chinese miners and destroying over 130 equipment. Erastus Asari Donko has a wrap.
This weekend saw NIMOS concentrate raids on illegal mining camps along the Ankobra, Brim, and illegal mining camps along the Kumasi-Sunyani Highway. Over 130 shamfan and water pumping equipment were destroyed and removed from these sites, while seizing 2 excavators in the Western, Eastern, and Ashanti regions. The raids concentrated in Abelebo in the Nzema East District, and Enyinase in the Takwan Swayim District, Wasa Krupong, Apoli, Beposo, Domiabra in the Akim Oda Swedro District, Wasa Krupong and Bruni Krum and Mankranso in the Ashanti and Hafo regions. As part of a broader strategy to permanently stop illegal mining, the NIMOS Secretariat says it plans to deploy permanent NIMOS field operatives in identified hotspots, particularly along critical rivers and high-risk communities. This, it says, will be complemented by sustained day and night operations, strengthened intelligence gathering, closer collaboration with the Blue Water Guards and local stakeholders, and rapid response interventions to prevent re-entry by illegal miners. Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asari Donko, Kumasi.
New data obtained by Joy News Research shows that nearly all of Ghana's small-scale gold exports in 2025 were directed to just 2 countries, the United Arab Emirates and India. The figures released following a right to information request into the operations of Gold Board indicate that the United Arab Emirates alone received about 75,000 kilograms of Ghana's gold, accounting for more than 70% of total exports. India received approximately a quarter of the total exports, while the remaining 1.2% was shared among China, the United States, Switzerland, and 5 other countries. The data shows the high concentration of Ghana's gold exports markets and raises questions about the country's exposure to external trade risks. More in the following report by Joy News Research.
Data obtained by Joy News Research from the Ghana Gold Board through a right to information request shows that Ghana's small-scale gold exports in 2025 were heavily concentrated in just 2 foreign markets. Out of a total of 103,804 kilograms of small-scale gold exported through Gold Board during the year, Dubai alone accounted for more than 72%, making it by far the dominant destination. India followed with about 25%. Together, Dubai and India absorbed 98.8% of Ghana's total gold exports in 2025. The remaining 1.2% was spread across 8 other countries, with Switzerland and South Africa accounting for most of that small balance. This level of concentration raises concerns about Ghana's exposure to external shocks. Any disruption in either Dubai or India, whether through regulatory changes, policy shifts, or demand shocks, would have immediate consequences for Ghana's gold export earnings. The structure of trade helps explain this imbalance. Much of Ghana's small-scale gold is exported unrefined and without a comprehensive traceability framework that effectively locks Ghana out of more premium international markets where stricter sourcing, refining, and compliance standards apply. As a result, exports are largely channeled to destinations willing to accept unrefined and weakly traceable gold, limiting Ghana's bargaining power and often forcing sellers to accept discounted prices. Despite these shocks, small-scale gold exports have played a critical role in Ghana. They have generated more than $10 billion in foreign exchange, providing key support for the cedi and helping stabilize the currency during the year. However, analysts warn that same concentration that has helped support the cedi also leaves it vulnerable. Heavy dependence on just two markets means that shocks in Dubai or India would quickly transmit to Ghana's foreign exchange inflows and by extension to currency stability. In effect, the strength of Ghana's small-scale gold export in 2025 also exposes a structural risk that may require urgent policy attention.
You're still listening to the Midday News with me, Mami Nyamiche Thompson. We'll take a break. When we return, we have sports and also the NPP flag bearership race gets heated with 12 days to elections as Dr. Brian Achampong questions opinion polls projecting Dr. Bawumia as favourite, insisting that 75% of MPs polling more votes than him in the 2024 general elections is a vote of no confidence in the former vice president.
Over 75% of constituencies in Ghana, yet two parliamentary candidates, all the presidential candidate.
We'll get on the campaign trail where Kwabre East MP heaps praises on Dr. Bawumia for his leadership, predicting a landslide victory for him on January 31.
If you have observed, he is always focused on what he wants to do. The person or Emma Ghana Tumpon.
Welcome back to the Midday News. Mubarak is here with Sport. Mubarak.
Yeah, Mami Siso, Senegal are the new champions of Africa after beating Morocco 1-0 to win their second title in the last three tournaments. Ghana did not qualify for the continental showpiece but were represented by match official Daniel Lai, who was the center referee for the high-profile semi-final between Morocco and Nigeria. Now, former sports minister Neil Lante van der Poel is hopeful of a World Cup inclusion after what he describes as a 95% performance.
I'm so proud as a Ghanaian because one Ghanaian in the middle there distinguished himself so well. The referee was excellent, and I'm sure FIFA will be considering him for the World Cup. Of all the matches that I've watched in the Cup of Nations, I can tell you, not because I am biased as a Ghanaian, he's the best. He's the best. His composure, his positioning. Refereeing is all about positioning. Positioning yourself on the pitch in such a way that you will be able to see all the angles of the game. I will give him 95%. And that is what, to me as a Ghanaian, even though we are not playing the Cup of Nations, I'm happy that Ghanaians were winners through the referee.
That's former sports minister Neil Lante van der Poel, who spoke to you, Mami Esi.
Indeed, he did, and he was actually rooting for Morocco to win, you know.
Wow, unfortunately.
Well, better luck to Morocco next time. Thank you, Mubarak. Now it's 12 days to the new Patriotic Party flag bearer elections, and the campaign is heating up. Among the candidates as former Great Minister and contender, Dr. Brian Achampong has questioned opinion polls that project Dr. Bawumia as favourite. On January 31, the 5 of the candidates will go to the poll to seek election to lead the party in the 2028 elections. All 5 are currently touring the country campaigning on internal party matters, national issues, especially fallouts from the 2024 general elections. Let's start from the camp of Dr. Brian Achampong, who insists Dr. Bawumia has lost popularity among party folks and must not be voted for.
Presidential candidate named Amoah Accra as parliamentary candidates. Or parliamentary candidates who have local problems on community who also vote to local. At just 2024, over 75% of constituencies in Ghana, yet two parliamentary candidates all the presidential candidate. It means that
A new you heard that Dr. Brian Echampo insisting that Dr. Bawumia has lost popularity among party folks and must not be voted for. Let's go to the camp of Dr. Bawumia. A member of Parliament for Kwabri East, Akwesi Champong, has described him as a visionary leader and expressed confidence that he will secure a landslide victory in the upcoming NPP presidential primaries. He spoke during Dr. Bawumia's campaign stop in the Ashanti region.
Mamika Dr. Bawumia was a kakra Oyobia, Oye friend deep thinker. Obia se otnasia Oma ni mu problem a ekono na watransi ape solution into digitalization. Se uko UK a na adia baako a na osi credit rating system. Na mi wo UK 2002, 2001. Na credit system rating system ewo ho. Enti asema na opeso ode ba no. Wa Canada da adanani asi enyeye. This is a man of vision. The campaign bia oye bia, if you have observed, he is always focused on what he wants to do. The person oye Emma Ghana tumpon. Oya no asa focus on yambo NDC in Sweden echi.
And you heard the Kwabri East MP Kwesi Champon rooting for Dr. Bawumia on his digitalization policy, as well as calling him a visionary. Meanwhile, Dr. Osei Duchum has presented himself as the best candidate to unite the party after the primaries, calling for restraint in the party's move to expel Professor Frimpong Boateng following his extreme criticism of the party. He spoke on Newsfile.
At the time when we were in opposition, a surgeon of his caliber being part of the party was a plus for the party. So even if some words are said that we don't like, we have to find a way to deal with it in such a way that we do not create a situation where he's further vilified through comments by many other people. I will appeal to my brother, older brother, who I really respect. I used to serve as a member of his ministerial advisory board as a deputy minister at the time. And I worked with him closely as a member of his ministerial advisory board. His passion for innovation, for mental issues, and many, many other things is worthy of commendation. So I appeal to him to also calm down and cool down. Better days are coming. When Dr. Edishum is the flag bearer, we are going to bring parties together.
Away from politics, Ghanaian PhD students studying in the United Kingdom warned that their planned protests could bring what they describe as a huge embarrassment to Ghana if their concerns are not urgently addressed. According to them, they feel neglected and unheard, forcing them to plan a 2-day protest to draw attention to their plight. President of the Ghanaian PhD cohort UK, Prince Komla Bansa, warns the protest could bring embarrassment to Ghana if the situation is not resolved urgently.
Potentially, there may be situations where students may have to eventually relocate to seek residency at the British Parliament. Could cause a lot of diplomatic embarrassment to the government of Ghana. So our objective is not to cause any embarrassment to the country that we come from. But as all of you are aware, we have explored all the avenues, and it appears that there's no seriousness being taken in terms of resolving the matter. And students continue to be outside in the cold because they do not have accommodation due to the non-payment of the stipend, which has taken so many years. The fees are pending, and most of them are already out of their schools. So I'm not sure that there's going to be any reversal in the ultimate decision that have been taken.
Meanwhile, Ghana's High Commissioner to the UK, Saba Zita Benson, has appealed for calm, assuring that the matter is being resolved. Well, we are unable to bring you that sound, but we'll do that in subsequent bulletins. Right about now, let's do what's trending. Adobia, looking all purplish, or was it?
Thank you. Yes, it's purple.
Okay, what's trending?
Shatawala is trending. Have you heard he sued somebody?
Oh, really?
Yes. So Shatta has sued Black Rasta. That's Abubakar Ahmed.
That would be an interesting case.
Yes. He says he's made some defamatory comments, and while fans are excited he's done something like this, they've even released a statement to that effect. Now people are questioning, well, how come Shatta is suing somebody? Because he also makes certain statements online, and nobody has done anything to him yet. So I'll just take the first comment. Yes, I'll take the first comment from Fosija. He said, Hey, we shatter you. They sue somebody. We are saying so we'll see the event unfold and we'll bring our.
Well, let's see how it unfolds. Thank you, Adobia, for what's trending, and that's how we end the midday news here on Joy 99.7 FM. Up next is Living Word with Pastor Mensa Otabil.